I think this is something that I hope if Jamada's watching, I'm not misquoting him, but it was something that was like a questionable matchup into the Ksante. There's a lot of matchups up into the top side people are experimenting with, but for GP, I remember that he does pretty well into some of the melee top matchups that obviously can't close the gap as easily. So I'm kind of curious to watch this one in action. Invincible had a really good game one on that Gwen, but it was banned away this time against him. The GP is going to be interesting because it adds a little bit more of that global presence, considering you still have the Ryze. You still have the Vi, which is a pretty good tool. I like NIP kind of running it back with a different element now that the Gwen's not available, with still that scaling top. It's a similar comp. Mazel, look at it on the other side for Ultra Prime.
It's literally back, baby.
It is. So, exact same again, guys. Look for Ultra Prime to play through picks, or NIP just get to a late game or even ultra late game. I feel like they just outscale and team fight so much better.
And what's crazy is last game we got to 2 dragons apiece, right? Like, it wasn't even that far into like the objective scaling. It was just pure item, right? Photic was at 4.5 item at crucial moment, and immediately they just ended the game because of it. We did get to see a little bit of aggression early on from both junglers there, but it should be just the calm and steady start. Wondering if Ning does what he did last game and try to find some early advantages in places, especially towards mid lane. That was so close to working out for them last game early on. I mean, that was the story, it felt like, of the first 15 minutes, is that we kept having people be dropped down to sub 200 health, but nobody died.
Yeah, that's right. Unlucky early game, I think, for Ning, but even unlucky for NIP in some points as well. So, Mazel, as I'm about to sneeze,
I got you.
Over.
I covered.
You gotta have to,
so they got the ward on the top side, so at least Ning will not be watched as he does the blue buff. They still do spot him out, so both junglers starting on the top side, going towards the bottom side, unless we get some unique pathing. And honestly, with the confidence built up from last game of Photic and Zhuo, I wonder if they're going to play a little bit more aggressive in the early parts of this 2v2.
Dude, I'm wondering about the 2v2, the level 2 as always, but also camera missed it in the top side. Invincible got some really good trading off, and remember, he's running first strike, so I think he would have gotten a lot of gold value out of Hery walking into Fog of War, into Brush, into lane. So there was a bit of a HP bar advantage, but level 2's been hit first by Hery on the Ksante. And so Invincible just backed off in the lane. Level 2 hit by both his bot laners as well. Photic actually going for the aggressive trade. There's the exhaust. Cleanse out immediately. Taking on the Lucian Nami. Remember, they've got so much sustain coming through here. But Photic is going to lose out overall in the trade, as you'd expect when Doggo and Baolan can get something of themselves. Meanwhile,
no flash bell. He pops Ghost immediately. Hery's using the dash to get out. Nicely done. Gets away from the Vault Breaker. So, or Devastating Charge, rather. And then you have the continuation of just the stalemate in the top side.
I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Yeah, it was nice from Hery to get out. Just seeing the interaction like ships in the night. As Ning wants to dive this Mazel. Oh, timing. And he's out.
Okay, a little bit late to leave the tower. Realizes he's got a Monkey King behind him. Does get the Airy proc there in the beginning part of it, but not going to have anything to really dodge out of this one. And you see Shaolin Bao is like on his way, booking it down here. And Doggo has now flashed forward. This is really bad for Ultra Prime. This is way too much of a commitment, and they are going to just be decimated. You find yourself in the enemy lines, and then they just come up behind you and put you in the ground. We get one big scat of the week there from Ultra Prime. They might find Shaolin Bao, but he's got the Yuumi. And the early healing is just enough. Now Photic is getting the AoE procs. 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shot. Ning down, flash forward. Baolan falls. The world champion duo is gone.
Mazel, it's a disaster. That just sucks. With Ultra Prime's intention so good, but Zhuo has the heal to give him the movement speed boost, to run out of the auto attack from Doggo to help out. And as you said, it was just a disaster lying in wait. We'll watch again because Zhuo does a bit of damage, heals himself up, then it's the heal that comes through, and so he doesn't get auto attacked. Has someone to mount in Photic. That's right, as soon as that's when you knew. Because Shaolin Bao coming in with the Vault Breaker just made it a short thing. And Dream teleporting down, I mean, this is what we love about NIP's prospects, where they're so concrete as a unit, and then even this, like Photic going over the level 2 Zeri, just cleaning house with her own movement speed, and the confidence to flush into Baolan, knowing he has no mana, picks up a double kill. Mazel, that's a 2-kill Zeri. It's even worse than the first game.
It is. And Shalom Bao has been so intricate with his vault breakers, both in last game and this game, just waiting and finding catch outs in fog, in blind shots a lot of time. I mean, that wasn't, right? But like, just seeing the consistency from Shalom Bao on this Vi is incredible to kick off the season for NIP.
You've got Shalom Bao on Vi, you've got Dream on Ryze as well. You know, picks that really identify with the player's playstyle. I mean, Dream he was such a good roamer on things like Syndra as well last year when he covered for Rookie. This sits really well with him, and I want to point out that he'll be level 6 soon as well. So expect those Realm Warps really hovering down towards the bottom lane, as Shalom Bao's already tried to assert dominance, setting up some deep vision and spotting Ning out in his red side jungle.
So we got level 6s coming across for solo laners. We will have Realm Warp now available for Dream to make a proactive play. That's now the spotlight on Qing and how he can either force the hand of Dream or respond to a Dream play to the side lanes. And I think Ning is still really just searching for his into this game, right? He has changed it up, not going the blue smite, going the red smite this time around. Doesn't make that much of a difference. But Ning has not found that early stalemate that we saw last game, and not finding the proactivity that maybe he would.
And he found something last game through mid. It was the mid 2v2 pick that kind of set Ning up and, you know, gave some power back over to Ultra Prime. This time around, the possibility is still there, but it's kind of out on rotation. You know, Ning's got a bit of a level advantage, and maybe he tries an angle for the bot lane, but again, hitting bot right now is still pretty hard with the Vamp Scepter, and with Shalom Bao and Dream both being down here on Dragon, Ning can't pull the play on bot.
I mean, he's just being made to wait. It feels like he literally just sat there in the tri-bush, almost completed his full back, stops his back, so a lot of time. Or maybe it's worth the commitment. Photic, one dodge away. Oh, we get the ulti in top lane as the cannon barrage is not enough, and Hery gets his solo bolo.
Oh, we didn't get to talk about the matchup, but I guess at level 6, as soon as you go all out, Gangplank just stands there and goes, well, there's not too much I can do. Invincible getting taken down. That's good news here for Ultra Prime, with Hery already having a massive CS lead. He's going to be able to get quite a lot here from the plate. Should be 2. So Mazel, that is a player's Realm Warp, though.
Yeah, Dream is here. There's a big old minion wave, though. And Dream locks him down. A couple little movement abilities from Hery. It's just going to be a slow and steady chain of Dream trying to whittle down Hery as he goes. He's going to have to dash up very soon, and Dream blasting forward under tower. One more.
Dream.
No, he gets it. Dream shuts down Hery in the top side.
Nice judge of damage. Ksante takes a long time to kill, but Dream knew what his output would be. And there's a reverse solo Mazel. I think enough time had passed from Invincible, so we now have 2 solo kills.
And I do want to highlight, we haven't gotten to talk about them at all. We highlighted them a little bit coming into the series, but I want to utilize this incredible play here as we were seeing kind of the back and forth to talk a little bit about Hery, right? And in this 1v1, you can see the mechanics shining through this startup that came through initially the EDGU system, finding the 1v1 on Ksante onto the potential carry of Gangplank for Invincible.
Up against the V587 top lane. There's going to be a lot of stories this split about, you know, LDL talent coming in, finally getting their shot. I think, you know, we had story about reunion for this LPL split where people like Ning and Baolan are meeting back up, right? Where we also have things like, I think Shalom Bao and Invincible at once upon a time might have played together as well. We've got, you know, other IG World 2018 members meeting up. MSI champions Xiaohu and Casa meeting back up. But the TLDR of it is, like, there's so many stories, like so many cool stories of, you know, players also getting their debut because there was so much roster shuffling in the off season.
That's what I've loved so much about coming this year, is that we have seen a call-up, I feel like a lot more than maybe is normal of a lot of the LPL prospects that have been really, really shining throughout the offseason tournaments, throughout, you know, LDL itself in spring and summer. And that is something I love to see, because it's always about following these new players, these new stories, because you kind of have a legacy here in the LPL, and to try to etch your name into that legacy is never an easy thing to do, but you have to. And seeing the progression of these teams committing to the newer talent is in itself just awesome.
Yeah, it really is. Again, there's been a lot of prospects that we've been waiting for a long time. I think Qing's definitely one of them who we've been waiting to see in the LPL. Hell, even after we saw Dream cover for Rookie, I'd say that he's one of the prospects that we've been waiting to see in the LPL full time. And, you know, this is his split to do it full time, because they don't have another mid laner. Rookie's left. He's now on top esports. And so Dream finally gets his shot on the roster that, you know, does have prospects to be in playoffs. Let's be real.
Yeah.
NIP with their talent. I mean, I put them in playoffs myself. I think I put them like top 8 or top 9, somewhere in there. They deserve to be in there. They've got a lot of talent.
And a lot of that does come down to the consistency, it feels like, of Xiaolongbao, because we have seen the version of E5 that doesn't have consistency in jungle and falters at every give, it feels like. Now Xiaolongbao looking for a bot lane gank will not be spotted out in his setup, as Ning has gone far and away from this bottom lane. Maybe it's time for a dive.
Well, it's going to be a bit hard with someone who's up on both of them, as top lane might be solo kill again.
Cannon Broad. Oh, the all-out. He doesn't have the knockback, though. Hery gets out with the movement, and nicely done. It's a very, very close stalemate between the top laners.
Essence Reaver difference there, Mazel. That completed item versus none here for Hery, I think, is all the difference in that solo play. So as Qing tries to come in the top lane, I think Invincible will be getting out in the nick of time. As you said, very well played. And the Gangplank starting to get to this point where he's going to have a bit more impact on the game. His ultimate used in the solo lane, so he won't have it for the dragon that's coming up, but I'm kind of going to question if Ultra Prime are willing to contest this one, because right now, Hery hasn't got TP. He's used it to get to the top lane. He's shoving a wave in. Does he move down, or does he continue for this plate up before Invincible gets there?
See if they can get a little bit of extra gold here as well with the Rift Herald picked up for Ning.
Good point.
It's going to be a little bit difficult, maybe, but I guess they bring Baolan here and try to get the Rift Herald charge in there for Qing. At this point, could take two plays. But Xiaolongbao has already been doing the dragon. This will be second dragon for NIP.
Great timing. Ultra Prime was setting up for dragon with the Herald through mid, but NIP were just already on it from the start. I mean, Xiaolongbao now might turn this into a dive.
A little bit cautious there, though, as a lot of bodies went missing for Ultra Prime. And nicely reserved from NIP, honestly. I don't know if we see the same Xiaolongbao, backing off last year. But we'll see this time around, as he's just trying to play a game against Ning and really make his own mark here to start off the season.
I mean, I think when we look at Xiaolongbao, you're right. It's a lot of those aggressive moves early on. Like, I remember Xiaolongbao in RNG as a really good Rek'Sai. Like, his first 15 minutes would be pretty scary in how he impacts lanes, but this is definitely a more reserved one who is looking at the overall objective here. And for NIP, those dragons, you could say, is the overall objective, because we're once again in a paced-out game where NIP just have to chill in the fridge. Literally wait until they're ready to come out and wait for that 3 items Zeri, wait for the Ryze as well. Like, NIP, even pulling the trigger's good.
Invincible baiting out Hery, and a lot of movement. Oh, if he got that last knock up, the flash away from Invincible seals his fate, and Dream picks up the kill on the top side. Qing, meanwhile, with Ning's help, trying to take more turret plates in mid lane. They'll get a 4th, maybe even take a tower.
The minion wave's going to thin out a little bit. That's right. So Photic moving up to mid as well. Depends on what Xiaolongbao does. They're gonna be
I saw Photic coming up. I was like, maybe they do the Wombo combo.
It is going to be traded in topside, though. So along with the kill, Invincible will get his own solo plate. And solo plates on the Gangplank. I mean, again, what I was just saying before is that the scaling is so big that now with the Gangplank as well, you just look at that global map presence that he adds, plus the semi-global from Dream. NIP can be in any of these side lanes in an instant, and they are just going to be side lane threats the whole game long. So I think you're in a very comfortable spot if you're an NIP fan here, as we look at the replay for what just was a close encounter with a Gangplank.
Close encounter of the fourth kind here.
Oh, yes. They're like, he'll be fine. Invincible had to burn the flash, unfortunately, but hey, you know, at least it sets up for the plating for Invincible in the end.
Indeed. I do want to point out we are getting progressively further along with the item completions. Pretty much everybody having their mythic now completed, except for Invincible, who went with the Essence Reaver, and except for Shaolin Bao, who ended up going with the Kenpung Chainsword as is tradition. But it's still setting up beautifully for 2 minutes and 15 seconds till the next dragon.
Okay, and that third dragon is going to be the start of Infernal Soul point for NIP as well. So Ultra Prime definitely going to be contesting this one, as Dream is holding a 2-man in the side lane right now with Shaolin Bao darting up towards the top lane.
Oh,
Photic,
no.
though.
Nice little move out to the side. Lightning Crash is trying to get the rest of the team to help him here. A lot of, at least poke coming down from Photic on the back end of the fight. Doggo and Baolan not able to get the actual full day. Oh my god, the Gale Force 4 with the dash, but he still has Zhuo under him, so I don't think there's much they can do.
Look over the
He
wall.
Might be set up for a gate for Hery, trying to knock him through, trying to knock him back, and Photic dies, goes down to Dream. Cannon Barrage is fired in return. The tower falls though, and gold into the pockets of Ultra Prime.
Props to Ultra Prime for really committing to the play when it all seemed a little bit lost after Photic honestly was threatening the turn back. This will give them the start of Herald as well and open up one of these side lanes. And hopefully it's going to be worth it in the end, because Invincible is able to push this turret. Shaolin Bao going to help out as well. That's an inner turret taken down at the 16-minute mark. So gold in the short term is still going to NIP.
Actually incredible they were able to get that down. It is the trade back on the opposite side of the map, though. Ning secures the Rift Herald. That's the second one of the game for Ultra Prime. So at least trading in neutral objectives so far, 2 for 2. But Dragon on the board, 40 seconds. We had set up with some item completions. Now we're a little bit further along there. No second items completed just yet, but there's the Rift Herald distraction available for Ning if they want to start fighting for these dragons.
Now, I wonder, last time the Rift Herald distraction wasn't set up as cleanly as you'd like. This time around, 20 seconds to that dragon. As you mentioned, the Herald needs to come out soon, but Ning's actually just gone back to base. So setup is definitely in favor of NIP, who get Scuttle, who've got deep vision around this river area. And after we see NIP, you know, we put the phone down. I think Dream's gotten 4 of something. I just want to see what the items are looking like here, because NIP, their chance of fighting, I would like to know, Mazel. There we go, finally. Maybe we leave this one behind, because even though you got 2-item GP, I mean, right now, I wouldn't touch that Syndra at all, and I wouldn't go anywhere near Doggo, so that's well left.
It is indeed. So Ning takes his dragon. Easily done. Side lanes are just in tatters for Ultra Prime right now. They have both their side lane towers taken out. They're tier 2s. And it's just kind of a waiting game, as you said. Chilling in the fridge for NIP so far. And something else that I feel like has been a consistent part to this second game is it feels like Ultra Prime don't necessarily have proactive answers or answers in general unless they find these kinds of picks where Doggo's putting in a front load of damage to start off the fights.
And it's also props to NIP, because they're the ones not giving it over. It's the vision that they've held in River for the majority of the game. And it's actually a lot of Shaolin Bao moving between these sides that is giving threat to Ultra Prime, where they're thinking, well, Shaolin Bao's always there for a response, right? This is a good Herald play, though, in the bottom side to set up Hery to open up these side lanes and give some of that vision some test. Because the reason NIP have been able to set up all this vision is they got down those outer turrets pretty early in the game. Mazel, inner turrets as well, helps out where they're able to put deeper vision into the enemy jungle without as much of a threat. And this time around, we do get a trade in the bottom side turret going down. The map is quite long, which means Ultra Prime can match some of the vision, clear out some themselves, and kind of reacts to Shaolin Bao, who has been hovering in Fog of War for quite a while in this fight.
The Seraph's Embrace very close to completion for Dream as well. That secondary boost stacking up both here, the Rod of Ages and the Seraphs should be coming along very quickly. But not having that second item for Doggo is going to be so detrimental to their way of taking these team fights, right? And I think you still have a while. It's not necessarily a quick Baron team right now for an NIP, so I think that's kind of off the table for them, but they can't get caught in these moments where Xiao and Bao can set up the rest of the team for kills.
But vice versa, Ultra Prime, Qing can do the same. You saw the burst damage there. That was from Syndra Scat of the Week, I'm assuming. But Qing as well with that ultimate. I mean, I'd assume by now we don't have a count of those Splinters of Wrath, but Qing should be getting close to that 120 and that extra 15% AP, the execute on the ultimate as well, which is under 15% health. So this Syndra is a very big threat to even some of the tankier members of NIP at the moment. Qing seems to be the lifeline and started that pick. Oh, is he? Oh, he is too. 94. Well done. Okay. So not 120 yet. It's Baolan. Flash.
Oh no, that's a quick catch. And we literally just said what happens when Xiao and Bao found you. Oh no, he misses the vault breaker, but it's okay. Nobody saw that one. They still end up with the one kill in favor of NIP. And I talked about maybe not being able to do the Baron, but at this point they might just force it.
Okay, 5 versus 4, as you said, 10 seconds. But yeah, they're not going to force it for now. Still too risky with this Syndra's range, combined with Doggo as well, who still isn't on the second item, by the way. But the pick's all you need. Again, the game is going longer. It's a 3,000 gold lead for NIP. And this Zeri now has Runans looking to go the same build as last game, with the Ravenous most likely third. And a strength here for Ultra Prime is, well, NIP are going to start it.
Yeah, Hery has no hope of getting out of this one. Even with the TP with Dream, like, there's no way. Invincible cleans up the kill, gets the extra gold. And here come Ultra Prime to try to respond. They are forcing this so heavily. They do get Shaolin Bao. Look at Photic, though. He's out caught on the side. He has a lot of AoE damage. And you got to look at the back like Dream and Invincible were there. Ultra Prime realized the fate that was about to be beholden to them. And they don't take the bait.
Trade onto the jungler a minute before Dragon. It's not going to be enough, but it will be enough to set themselves up vision around the next objective. I will say, however, Mazel, might have been a different story if Qing was at 100 stacks and could get that execute at 15%. Maybe there was a very different story to get the 80 carry, and then that could set up the Baron here for UP. But 30 seconds till the Dragon, that's what you're looking towards. Focus on Qing, who in that last play was definitely the person to set them up for success. He's got a stopwatch now as well, so look for Qing to be playing on the aggressive here on the Syndra. I still think this is the person to carry the game into a game 3 for Ultra Prime.
It would have to be. It's either him or maybe Hery gets to the point where he's just ridiculously strong. But Baolan gets half of his health taken out. Cannon Barrage will hit the middle, hit Qing. It goes gold, and there's not much left to save him. Ning and Hery on the sidelines. And Xiaolong Bao helps Invincible pick up the kill. Now Hery by himself trying to run away for the rest of ninjas in pajamas. But they're just that. They're ninjas and they are in pajamas and they're chasing you down. They want to go to sleep and put Hery to sleep as well. That'll be a quick kill given over and a quick dragon to NIP.
And Hysterics wants to be in pajamas as well. So I guess they might be doing me a favor here, Mazel. NIP, I mean, the usage of ultimates in that fight was just gorgeous. As that dragon leads to Soul Point, and it's a 3-item GP. We're going to have a 3-item Zeri pretty shortly as well. Yeah, I mean, it's full lethality, and he's going to be one-shotting these core carries. Like, this is grand to see. It's such a good opening game as we look at the replay. Look at Invincible here.
Oh my god.
Burns down Baolan, that's half HP, but it's the ultimate Mazel. It's the ulti here from Invincible with Dream flashing forward. That puts Qing in such a bad position. Remember, he was the core carry we wanted to see. The rest of the team is zoned out. Invincible then helps chase down Hery at the end of the fight, zones him off for Dragon, and leads to Soul Point, which in 4 minutes leads to an Infernal Soul for a Gangplank that is so far ahead of the curve. It's good to see here that NIP, I mean, it's not just the named members that we were looking at here, like Dream, Photic, really stepping up to the plate. Invincible's had a pretty decent series so far as well.
Yeah, I think that's the incredible part. That's why I wanted to throw a little bit more storylines towards them, because we had just talked so much about the rest of the map. We had seen in the first game, it's just a noodle fight up there in the top lane. But now we're starting to get the breadth of a best of 3 here. And oh, nice quick decision making from Bao. Onto Ning, onto the back line. Ning is down 0-2. And Bao with the rest of NIP position around the Baron.
They're going to start it up. Mazel in a 4 versus 5. Hery's looking to teleport back in. But
out of the weak
Photic
power
can turn it.
Oh, Photic goes down. The at least fight around the Baron is not there for NIP. And Ultra Prime strike while the iron is hot.
It's all about Qing, baby. This Syndra pick means business, and that's how Ultra Prime can still win some of these fights, man. The damage is nuts, and honestly, Ultra Prime look revitalized, and they stopped the Baron too. Now still looking for a pick.
Doggo playing pretty aggressively there with his dash forward. They're going to start the Baron? This is bold from Ultra Prime. Hysterics.
I don't know, though, if they want to continue on, because these Gangplanks are going to be coming in red hot. The teleport towards mid, and they're not doing this fast enough.
I mean, they have all the setup. Bao's walking around the edge. Ultra Prime realize what position they put themselves in, but they're at half health already. That's Doggo's calling to separate the fight a little bit, stop the advance from NIP. But the advance continues into the mid lane now that Ultra Prime are out positioned.
Invincible just needs a barrel chain, just needs setup. He's almost level 16,
Doesn't
by the
catch
way.
it. The power unleashed is not there in the tank. And final chapter was Ning is on the back line, triple knockup, but he goes down afterwards. The cannon barrage is separating so much of the fight. And Qing, he has, oh no! He missed the scat of the week! He had no balls and he couldn't get any stuns off, and that is a quick kill for NIP. And that is maybe even a Baron here if they want to turn on it, but I feel like the health bars just are non-existent. They're gonna force it anyways.
They don't have Photic. That's going to mean it's going to be a little bit slower than expected. However, Dream on the Rise maybe helps that point. With Invincible looking for setup through Fog of War, this could be the fight. Baron's gone.
No. Doggo cleanses. He has a little bit of space here. Hery goes down to the back line. Bubble connects, but Doggo's already lost all of his health. And Bao's coming to town. And he's got some beautifully done soup dumplings. A double kill for the jungler of NIP. And maybe even just a little bit more of an edge here in this game as they circle around almost 9,000 gold.
And you have to think that's the finishing blow now with Baron. We'll look again, Mazel, because Qing tried his heart out, but he steps up to the turret, puts himself in harm's way, burns a flash, and now that he's zoned out the fight, no one can finish the carries that Ning sets up so nicely for. Everything's a bit scattered from Ultra Prime, and then Qing, scatter the weak, is just out of range. Even though the R button deletes Photic, now with over 100 Splinters of Wrath, it's not enough in the end, despite Qing really kicking off that fight and getting the massive burst damage in front of the Baron. This Syndra, man, making it so close, but I truly think that last fight might have been the nail in the coffin, as now with an Infinity Edge, Invincible might finish it here.
Ning just gets eviscerated, and now without a jungle, there's not much Ultra Prime have to say around the map as side lanes are going to be pushed in. At least the bottom side lane is, and they have a lot of pressure onto the engine towers here. Dream getting flanked here. Does Dream get caught out? He does get the all-out used onto him. A little bit of damage from Dog. He's so fast! He's so doggone fast, Hysterics! And they're losing their base for Ultra Prime.
I mean, it's a Ryze who's got Zonya's Hourglass, his 3 items, so much health. They just don't have the damage stats to burn through it. Dream survives. They open up the bot lane through Inhibitor, and Mazel, the Infernal Soul off the back of it as well. Ultra Prime can't catch a break, and with how close the health bars have been this game yet again, it does just feel like a couple of plays going their way, turning around a couple of clutch moments, and maybe this would have been a very different game that could have led us to a game 3.
Indeed, but that Infernal Soul, as you said, and the steady lead that NIP have gained themselves, they are now over that 10,000 gold lead over them, and I think it's pretty much just about hammering it home at this point. I think there's a lot of things for Ultra Prime to find if there's overconfidence from NIP, maybe even Bao, but the map state is very difficult to play.
especially with that deep vision we talked about earlier in the game. You look at bot, it's
Oh,
covered in
no.
it, and even here,
They don't even stop. I mean, they signed up for the tickets and they just keep giving them out. And Photic gets another kill. He takes down Ning, who has just spent the last 5 minutes, a lot of it in the death realm. See Doggo try to capitalize on a bubble from Baolan, but they are getting pushed in every way, shape, or form. And now Photic is flashing forward with the lightning crash. Doesn't get hit by the bubble either. And Hery all's out, but no. Xiaolong Pao will deny it. A double kill for Photic and a pop-off performance for the Ninjas at Pyjamas, who in their first series in the LPL since the new name will take a 2-0 victory over previous and reunited world champions Ning and Baolan and the rest of Ultra Prime.
a defining victory when you consider that NIP are dealing with the same thing RNG are. They have to reconstitute their roster and fill in the massive gaps left behind by players like Rookie and PP God and hell, even Caster during the prime. Right now, NIP are looking like a pretty switched on roster, and Xiaolong Bao a great choice to stick with, alongside Dream and Photic, who still hold charge, but got to give props to the top lane. In that game, Invincible, really solid laning phase, really great ultimates, and positioning on this Gangplank made it look like an optimal choice into the Ksante, especially in the mid game.